All right, students, this is the first video I'm putting together for the web design class. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to go over how to set up an HTML page. Now, I'm going to be using Sublime Text, which I have downloaded from the internet for free. It's freemium, which means that they will every now and then bug you to pay $79 to use it, but you don't have to do it. You don't have to pay it, and it will still work. A lot of people in the industry use Sublime Text because it's free and it does a pretty good job. So when I get to Sublime Text, I had it open here. So here it says Sublime Text. I'm just going to say File, New File. And when it creates a new file, it doesn't have any kind of file type associated with it. So the first thing I want to do is I want to save it as an HTML file so that Sublime Text knows to treat this as an HTML file. So I'm going to say File, Save As. Now here's something I want you to pay attention to. Whenever you start a new HTML project, a new web project, you want to put all of your files into one folder. All of the HTML pages, all the CSS, any JavaScripts, any images, video, they all go into one folder. So the first thing I'm going to do here is I'm going to make a folder. I'm going to call it Zen. And I'm going to, I'm going to make a new folder with the new folder button. I'm going to call it Zen. And then I'm going to call this page zen.html. Now it's really important when you're in Sublime Text that you include the .html in your file name because you're telling Sublime Text what kind of file you are creating. Okay, now I'm going to go ahead and put together the basic structure of an HTML page. So every HTML page, every HTML5 page, the first thing it has is called the doc type declaration. And that's this doc type HTML. Okay, what that does is it tells the browser that you're using HTML5, which is the most recent version of HTML. So notice it says doc type HTML, there's an exclamation point in front of the word doc type, and they're inside these little brackets. I call them carets. These little brackets, though, together they make a tag. So that in HTML we call anything that's inside of these brackets, we call it a tag. So this is the doc type tag or the doc type declaration. Now each HTML page, first of all, it starts with a tag called HTML, which means what follows is HTML. And now if you notice, because we have saved this as an HTML page, Sublime Text is going to help us out by trying to color code the elements so that we can see if we're making any mistakes. You'll see how this works as we go along. So I'm saying, okay, start HTML. Now, here's the secret about tags. Most of them work this way. They have a beginning tag and an ending tag. And what that means is everything between these two tags are HTML, or everything between these two tags are the head or the body. So if I open an HTML tag, at some point I'm going to close an HTML tag. And how you close it is, use the same caret and a slash. And I just did slash HTML. That means end HTML. That goes at the bottom of the page when we get done. And if you noticed, I typed in the caret, the little bracket, and a slash, and Sublime Text automatically entered HTML. That's part of what's called the code hints. It's trying to help you code your page properly. Dreamweaver also does this. It does it a little bit more robustly. But you can either use Sublime Text or Dreamweaver. Sublime Text just happens to be free. Okay. In every HTML page, there are two main sections within the HTML tags. The first one is called head, H-E-A-D, and notice as I'm typing the word head, I get these little again, the code hints. It says head tag and header tag. Those are two tags in HTML. The one we want is head. Okay, I'm going to go down a couple and just do a close head. All right. And in the head, you put some information that the browser uses to display the page, but that the user doesn't necessarily see. We'll see how that works in a minute. And after the head tag, we have the body tag. And then there we go again. It's trying to tell us what we might want to enter. So the way these code hints work is instead of completely typing out the word body, I can just click there and it will put the tags in for me, which sometimes is helpful. Okay, and in the body tag, inside these two body tags, you're going to put all the content. So all the text, all the images, all of the videos, anything that the user is going to see. Okay, so let's go back to the head for just a moment. So there's two main things that you want to put in the head at the beginning of any HTML document. The first one is called the char set. And let me show you how that works. This is just something you have to memorize. Some of the tools that we use automatically generate this, but Sublime Text does not. And so this is how it is. It's a tag. It's called meta. There's a few things you can use meta for. Keywords you can use it for. We're going to use it for the char set, which stands for character set. Char set. We're going to say char set equal quote UTF-8. And then we're going to close that. And what that means, it says char set is character set. So char set UTF-8 is American English. So that means that this HTML page should be rendered in American English. And there are char sets for all kinds of languages, including Spanish, Russian, Chinese, simplified Chinese. There's a lot of, if you need to change the character set that the browser is going to display, this is where you indicate it. For us, we're going to use char set UTF-8. Now I'm going to put something in here called the title tag. I'm going to show you where this happens. This is one part in the head where the user can see some of the content, but it doesn't appear where maybe you think it does. I'll show you how that works. So since we're going to ultimately put the Zen Garden in here, I'm going to put Zen Garden in as my title. And then I'm going to close my title tag. Okay, so right now I have doctype HTML, open HTML, open head, meta char set. Oh, one thing about the meta char set tag, it's one of those few tags that does not have a closing tag. There's no closing meta tag. There's a few of them. Meta is one of them. Most of the others do have closing tags. The title tag, we have Zen Garden on the inside, and then we close the head. So below there we have the body. We don't have anything in the body yet. And then we close HTML. So I'm going to save this. And now I want to preview what this looks like on the web. So the way I can do that is I can go to any browser. I happen to have, let's open Safari since I don't have anything open. And from Safari or Chrome or whatever you're using, I can say File. I'm in Safari, Open File. And that's going to look for a file on my desktop. So I'm going to navigate out to my Zen folder. Oh, look at that. Oh, look at that. So I made a terrible error here. I actually put zen.html outside of the Zen folder. I'm going to have to go back later and put that in. I'm sorry about that. So I'm just going to open it. And as you can see, there's nothing here. So I've opened zen.html in Safari, and it's a blank white page. But if you look carefully, you'll notice that the words Zen Garden are in the tab. So this is when you put the title into the head. This is where it appears in the HTML. Okay, now let me just show you what something that appears in the body looks like. So I'm just going to put in a paragraph. And I'm going to say this is where the Zen Garden text will go. Okay, so P stands for paragraph. So I'm going to save this. I just saved this. I did Command S. I'm going to go back to Safari. And since I already have this loaded up, this file, I can still do File Open and open the file again. But easier just to click on this little reload button right here. Oh, this is where the Zen Garden text will go. Look at that. Isn't that clever? So if I'm working here in Sublime Text, I can preview everything here in my browser, and I just click the reload button to see the changes. But that's the difference between stuff that might be in the head, which is kind of part of the operation of the page but not really seen by the user, and stuff that goes into the body text. All right, I'm going to do a quick detour into Dreamweaver, which I have open, just to show you how it differs from Sublime Text. So this is Dreamweaver. If I do File New in Dreamweaver, the first thing it does is it says, what kind of document do you want to make? And I'm going to say HTML. And then it says over here, what is your doc type? We want to make sure it's HTML5. All of these other ones, those are older versions of HTML. We want HTML5. And then I click the Create button, and voila! One of the wonderful things about Dreamweaver is that it sets up this housekeeping for us. It sets up the basic structure of our page. So there's the doc type declaration, there's open HTML, close HTML, open head, close head, meta char set UTF-8. Here's the title. This is untitled document, but we can change that. And then the body. Okay, one last thing I'm going to do. I'm just going to click out of here. So I'm going to go into my desktop, and I don't know how I did this, but somehow my HTML is outside of my folder that I intended for it, and it's so important that everything has to be in the same folder. So I'm going to quit out of Sublime Text, and I'm just going to go ahead and put that in there. So now I'm where I'm supposed to be. And here's the thing, if I double click this, it's going to open in a browser, just like that, because the browsers read HTML. And if I do open with Sublime Text, it will open there. There's my file. All right, so that's how you set it up.